I'm going to now show you how to do that. So since we do have a lot more room, if I wanted to keep this on here and weave something on this side, I could. It would be very small, you know, maybe 2 inches, but you know, a bookmark or something could be done. But I'm going to go ahead and take this off and show you. So I'm going to unwrap all of these extras that I had. Okay, so you can't, I forgot to weave those in. We'll weave them in later. You can't just slide these off because it doesn't stretch, because it's cotton, so it doesn't really stretch like that. So you're just going to take some snips or some scissors. I personally like to cut it like as long as I can to give me the most string to tie. And I've seen lots of different ways to do this, and I'll show you the way that I prefer. Now, this side we can just pull off. But we're still going to have to cut the ends because we're still going to have to tie it off because it'll just continue to unravel. So I'm just going to, since we have plenty of string here, I'm just going to snip each of these this way. I could have done it on the loom still, doesn't matter. I think that got it all. Okay, so you could turn it this way and tie it and keep this as fringe. Same thing with this, but it is awfully short to do it on that side. So just some options. But what I like to do is just come in and just tie a little double knot. Grab the next two. And just tie them together. And then if you don't want fringe, then you'll just trim it. So there's two things you can do. You can tie the knots and then just trim it as close as you want, which is what I'm going to do. Or you can actually, if these were longer, you could take this and weave it back in the back and weave the ends in. But since my strings are not long enough to do that, we're going to have to go the tie route. You want to make sure that whenever you're doing it, one of them's on the bottom of the string and one of them's on the top, so you're locking it in place basically. And this takes a few minutes. And like I said before, if you don't want this tied edge showing, just make sure to leave enough room to be able to weave them back in after you tie them off. So if you are going to be, actually I'll show you how I would do that on the other side since they are long enough. Alternatively, instead of cutting it all off, you can just cut a few at a time and tie it while the rest of them are still attached. Whew, these strings are all in my way. Okay. So, because I am not a huge fan of the cut section, I'm going to add fringe to this. But let's go ahead and tie these off really quick.